Hey, what's up everybody, Commander Radix here, bringing you another episode of Transformers Lore. What if I told you that every Optimus in the Transformers multiverse was the same Optimus? Well, that's not entirely true, but what if I told you that 3 very specific Optimuses in the Transformers multiverse are the same Optimus? Well, that gets less impressive, especially considering that only one of them is actually a major Optimus. Today, let's talk about the Prime Spark. But before we get into the main topic of this video, I'd like to mention that nearly 80% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel yet. If you like what you see in the video and want to see more that Transformers Lore has to offer, please consider subscribing. It'll help the channel grow, and it's a great free way to support me in video production on the channel. And hey, you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. But with that out of the way, let's jump into today's topic. For reasons unknown, when Primus was serving as the agent of creation for the Transformers across the multiverse, Primus created a special outlier spark known as the Prime Spark. In short, the Prime Spark was a shared spark, a shared soul, if you will, for a multiversally reincarnated or parallel incarnated individual. The reasons for this soul's creation is unknown. The holder of the Prime Spark has incarnated into 3 personas across the multiverse. Well, when I say across the multiverse, I mean in 2 universes. The Prime Spark Transformer is Optimus Prime, and Optimus Primal, but probably not the ones you're thinking about. The arguably most famous of the group would be Optimus Prime of RX 802.23 Alpha, the universe of the American Unicron Trilogy cartoons. Now, the other Optimus Prime and the Optimus Primal are not the ones you're probably thinking about from Primex 984.17 Alpha, the universe that includes the US Generation 1 cartoon. Rather, these 2 are from Primex 496.22 Alpha. If you'll remember in the various videos on this channel talking about the Beast Wars, the events of the Beast Wars cartoon takes place in several different universes, including the US G1 cartoon universe, the Japanese G1 cartoon universe, and so on. And it also takes place in a Beast Wars universe that only draws from the cartoon itself, and the G1 mythology it references isn't necessarily a pre-established G1 continuity. Well, most of the time when we're talking about Beast Wars, we're talking about it within the context of the greater G1 lore. This Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal, who have the Prime Spark, are from the Beast Wars-centric universe. For example, this Optimus Prime would die in the Battle of Autobot City, just like G1 cartoon Optimus Prime. But instead of being Orion Pax before he was Optimus Prime, Primex 496.22 Alpha Optimus Prime was called Optronics, like Dreamwave Optimus Prime. So, yes, the holders of this special Prime Spark, this multi-incarnated being, is the Unicron Trilogy Optimus Prime you know, and then the Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal of Primex 496.22 Alpha. In the multiversally omnipresent McAdam's old oil house, there is a back room with chairs ready specifically for the Prime Spark holders, for when they die, they are summoned to this back room. McAdam, that is to say Alchemist Prime from the 13, is aware of the Prime Spark and understood that the holders of the Prime Spark would one day meet in the back room. Since the way time works in the multiverse can be tricky, we're not going to bother with the when of it all, but at some point, Optimus Prime, Optimus Primal, and Optimus Primal from the future of Beast Machines all meet up following their deaths. G1 Prime is from Autobot City. Beast Wars Primal came from destroying the Planet Buster. Beast Machines Primal is from the Plasma Energy Chamber, and Armada Prime is coming from the Hydra Cannon. This fated meeting took place for the 3 Primex holders of the Spark to provide guidance to the RX Prime. During the session, they all held hands, because of course they did, and upon all the holders of the Prime Spark making contact, they felt the sensation of losing their own individuality and persona, returning to the one Prime Spark being. But this process was interrupted. This meeting would also be forgotten once the primes and primals left back to their afterlives and/or revivals. There's also a scene where the Prime Spark holders encounter 3 ghostly figures of their respective Megatrons, suggesting the possibility of a Megatron Spark, but the fact that not all of these Megatrons die to facilitate such a meeting suggests to me that it was just an artistic metaphor rather than a literal Megatron Spark phenomena. And that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I do videos on a range of topics and includes history and Transformers, so if you're a nerd who likes nerdy things, consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said before, nearly 80% of you haven't subscribed yet. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Don't forget to check out all my social media links in the description to see what's going on with me, and if you really want to go the extra mile to support me, consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.